Hello guys, I'm here with Richard, who is the organizer of JCON, and also he became a Java champion recently, so congratulations for that, by the way.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So, I was really curious, what are we most excited about for JCON this year?
Yeah, everything, of course, but we have a few new special things that we do. So, for example, we do a mentoring hub. So Bruno Souza will come from Brazil. He's a Java champion, and his main thing is mentoring people in the tech space. So it's not only like technical things, but also soft skills and growing your career, or maybe talking with people in the industry about problems that you have at your job that you might not be able to talk with the people that are in your team because they're in your team, and finding solutions and advance your team, your career, and like also your whole life. So if you go home and you're less stressed because you have better solutions, maybe also for like social problems that you might have at work, mentoring can help. And we have the mentoring hub at JCON, so you can just come to JCON, find one of the mentors in the mentoring hub. This is an area where there's a table, you can sit down and have a conversation, either in a group or maybe one-to-one. So this is a great thing, and you definitely should check it out.
Yeah, so that's great. I can definitely recommend it. We are at DevNexus right now, by the way. So we are here at the speaker retreat today. We have beautiful weather here in Atlanta. And I was also one of the mentors at the mentoring hub here, and I can definitely recommend it. I mean, you were a mentor too, right?
Yeah.
And I have to say, for me, it was really a great experience. I had 3 other people, and they were all really happy. It was the last slot. We overdrafted the slot by like 30 minutes, actually. It went really well, and my mentees really would have wanted to keep it going if they could. So, I don't know, how did it go for you?
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, there was good questions, and it's always good to get a different perspective, even though if you are the mentor. But it was a good conversation, and I think it's all about learning. So we had a good exchange, and I did a thing about time management, what you can do to like organize the tasks that you have to do, like in your work, in your personal life. And this was really interesting because there were people that worked at bigger companies and smaller companies, and yeah, it's good to learn and see what works for them and works for you, and then get a new perspective. I also wrote down a few new things that I didn't know about, so it was for me also was a great experience. I'm a developer by heart, so I go about this as I would go about software development. So I try to find out what are the frameworks that you can use, that people have tried, that hold value, and I try to use these frameworks and not to reinvent the wheel. And so, for example, what I really like, for example, is Getting Things Done by David Allen is something that I really enjoy. Inbox Zero is something that I like. Also, the Eisenhower matrix is something that I really like to use. And using these frameworks to have more time for the important things in your life, more important tasks, and having less stress and being more productive.
Do you remember one of the things that you learned? I'm actually curious to see what it was, if you remember still.
Yeah, somebody showed me a new function in Outlook that I did not know about. There's a new Outlook version coming out, and I'm hesitant to using. Like, I checked out the new version, but I'm still on the old version. And in the new version, there is like a lot of things you can do I didn't know about, and I definitely have to move to a new Outlook version. So yeah.
And what is the feature exactly? What does it help you with?
It helps you with snoozing messages, and so you can, if you have a task that you don't want to work with, so now I will use Outlook to get me some kind of a reminder for that. But even better, in my opinion, is if you can snooze the message. So I use a different app for that. I use Spark to snooze my messages. So it's the same mailbox. You can just connect an app to your phone and set up your mailbox there, and the app Spark can snooze a message, so it pops up. Let's say it's not important now, it will pop up, let's say, in 2 weeks when it's important to do it. So yeah.
It's interesting because now that you mentioned that, I noticed I'm kind of doing a low-tech version of this already myself. When I have something important that I need to do, I also add it to my calendar, and I add it, like multiple times if it's really, really important. I add it like, at the deadline when it is, and I add it like, like 1 week before, or, depending on how long I think I need to do it. And then I know in advance, like, it's kind of like this snoozing in a way already. It's just a bit, of course, more work, since when you do it earlier, you need to remove it. It's all confusing if you forget to remove it and then you have it still in the calendar and you think like, oh, did I not do this?
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm kind of curious, what is the biggest challenge do you feel like when organizing, such a conference just like JCON?
Yeah, I would say time management. So this is my home topic because you have so much going on. You have a bunch of different people that work on the conference. So in our team, we're a fairly small team. Then you have, of course, the location where it is. It's a cinema for JCON. So this is interesting working with those people. Then you have like all the catering stuff going on. You have all the speakers. You have all the sponsors. Everybody needs like different things, and they all need to come together in these 3 days of the conference. We have 1 workshop day, 3 conference days, and everything needs to come together in this there perfectly. And the more work you put in early on, the less stress you have during the conference.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It seems to work out because, I really like JCON, as you already know, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's really, still my favorite conference, and I'm kind of curious, what do you think makes JCON so special in a way?
Oh, I like that you said it's your favorite conference. I hope you don't say this to everybody you interview, but...
No, you can look at my other interviews, I didn't.
Yeah, what I think is special about JCON is it's a community conference organized by developers for developers, and there are other great community conferences in Germany, but this is the one that has the most international audience and like speaker profile. We have people that come from the US, from Asia, from Africa, of course from North and South America. They come there to talk about the products they're working on, the framework. So we have people from Spring, from Jakarta E. We have people that work on Maven. We have people from Gradle. So you name it. So the tech you are working with today, every day, we have people there that work on that frameworks, and they share about these frameworks. So we don't have those like really hard sales pitches, except for some sponsored sessions that we need to finance the conference. But still, also those sessions, of course they have a product, but we try to make it so that it's not a sales pitch, but gives you value. And sometimes it makes sense to buy a product to help your team, right?
Totally, I mean, and I really like the spirit. A lot of open source is featured there and so on, and really the people are great. And I also like the beers that we get, in the evening sometimes together.
Oh yeah, I forgot the beers.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something you should forget about, right? I feel like it's really important at conferences to also take them as social opportunities. I feel like that's something I kind of took with me from our mentoring. And I noticed, I was focusing a lot on mentioning like, don't try to really visit each talk, sure, try to visit the talks you're really interested in, but also make sure you spend time on the so-called hallway track, where it's just about being at the hallway, talking to the sponsors, talking to the attendees, and then, you get to learn a lot of new people this way and make great relationships along the way. Don't feel, pressured to go to every talk. It's really exhausting if you try to do that. It's much better if you try to form new relationships and just go talk to someone, and usually you will notice that they will like it, and you will find some common ground because we both are developers at the conference, so there's already something you have in common. Thank you a lot. So I really hope I can see you at JCON as well. See you then. Bye guys.
Bye.